Two Broke Betters, presented by Garrett Hollenbach and Dallas Walker.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 5 of Two Broke Betters. I'm your host, Garrett, and this is my co-host, Dallas.
Yo.
After a huge weekend in sports, which featured the SEC Big 12 Challenge and the NFL Conference Championships, where I will say Dallas and I did clean up in the SEC Big 12 Challenge and college basketball that covered last Saturday. I went 7-1 with my picks in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Dallas, on the other hand, went 3-0 in his favorite picks. So, yeah, clap it up for us.
Something about those crystals.
Clap it up for, hey, the crystals are working.
Something about them.
Were the crystals. And we're going to do what we've been best at. We're going to talk some more college basketball, Super Tuesday action. We've got, I would say, sort of a sneaky night of college basketball. Not the biggest names, not a bunch of top 5 teams playing against other top-ranked teams. But I think we've got some really good matchups with some great home environments on Tuesday night. So starting out, we have UConn and Creighton. Personally, whenever I was thinking about making this pick, I've noticed Creighton is sort of cold right now. They lost by 17 to Butler. And on top of that, lost to Xavier whenever they were up by 20-plus on Xavier at one point. They blew a 20-plus point lead to Xavier. So 2 straight losses. Creighton is 1-4 on the road since the start of December. And Creighton's a very young team. That's what I think kills them on the road. They're just young. They're not used to those environments. And I don't think UConn's the place to go into expecting to win or keep it close if that's what's hurting you so bad, or these hectic road environments. So I'm going to go with UConn minus 9.5. They're 4-2 against the spread and 5-1 at home since the start of December. I like that pick, UConn minus 9.5.
I like it. Yeah, it's like you said. Creighton's just been struggling. I actually like the under. I believe it was 135.5. I think UConn's going to blow them out. And Creighton, over the last 3 games, I think has been averaging like 59 points a game. UConn averaging about 79 points. So if there's a blowout that starts early, maybe UConn just kind of puts it in cruise control. I think covering the spread's a good one for them. And I also just like this under.
Yeah. So there's our picks, UConn minus 9.5 and the under. Moving on, I think this is a good matchup. It made for a really good game last time out. Kansas at Iowa State. A few weeks ago, Iowa State traveled to Kansas, almost won. They lost by, I think, 1 point on what was a very controversial no call at the end of the game. Iowa State is 8-2 at home since the start of December, while Kansas is 1-3 against the spread on the road since the start of December. I don't understand why Iowa State isn't favored in this game. I can see that they've been sort of inconsistent at times, but not really at home. They've been more inconsistent on the road. So that's why I'm going to take Iowa State plus 3.5 in this matchup.
Yeah, I said the same thing here. I just said the wrong team's favored. Like you said, lost a close one last time on an iffy call. This is their revenge game. They're on their revenge tour. They're on their Drake business.
Yep.
I want to
say back to back.
Hopefully not. I want to say that, Vegas knows something we don't. This is a weird spread. But I think it's just one of those times where they like a team. They like the name Kansas. And I think we're getting really good value on Iowa State. 3.5 at home. I'll take that.
Yeah. We both like Iowa State in this matchup. Moving on to the next, we've got a Big Ten challenge. Michigan State at Maryland. I went with the total in this game. I went with under 138.5. This one's one of my favorites. Both of these teams really do not play well based on where they're at in this matchup. So Maryland's home offensive efficiency drops to 0.986, which would make them 190th in offensive efficiency. And Michigan State's away offensive efficiency drops to 1.012, which would make them 142nd in offensive efficiency. Both of these dropping over like 0.3 of a decimal, which is not good in home efficiency or in offensive efficiency numbers. The other big thing, I sort of did the same thing with the Villanova total. This one is the same. Michigan State's total bets have been alternating the whole month of January. It went over, under, over, under, over, under. We're due for an under. And the last point I'm going to make is Michigan State has a top 25 defense, which I think will be huge in this matchup. Big thing I've been harping on all year, defense travels.
Yeah.
So I think Michigan State's defense, top 25 defense in the country, according to Kim Palm, is really going to travel, cause a lot of havoc for Maryland. And I think we're going to see under 138.5 in this one.
I like that pick. I actually had Michigan State covering 5 points. Maryland 4-10 against the spread at home. Michigan State right now 5-0 against the spread away from home. It's like you said, Maryland is a really inefficient offense, and Michigan State, you know what they say, defense travel.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. Get a load of this guy.
Yeah. But all they have to do is stop Fatty Boy and
Hey, Ayala is the one I like on the team. I think Fats Russell is a little bit inconsistent from a guard.
he is. He's
I
like a
like Ayala.
goodwill John Morant.
Yeah, just a smaller version.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we both like Michigan State in this one. I just like the total better, under 138.5. Moving on to the matchup. This one is personally my favorite matchup of Super Tuesday. I think if everybody's been hyping up the Auburn home atmosphere, and don't get me wrong, that atmosphere is amazing. I think this crowd is going to be insane because they've already released videos of the Texas Tech students camping out a week in advance for the Texas game. This is the return of Chris Beard, the once beloved Texas Tech coach, to Lubbock, which he just left last year. And they released videos of fans screaming, taunting, flipping off Chris Beard as they arrived in Lubbock tonight. And I think that atmosphere is going to be absolutely hectic and cause a lot of problems for the Longhorns because they already don't look good. But I think this atmosphere is going to cause lots and lots of problems against them, especially with a Texas Tech team that dominates at home. Since the start of conference play, Texas Tech is 5-0 against the spread at home, 5-0 straight up as well against their opponents. And then I also think on top of that, this is sort of a letdown spot for Texas. They had a really emotional game against Tennessee where their old coach, Rick Barnes, came back to campus. They let Tennessee back in the game at the very end, and Texas was lucky enough to pull it out by 1 point. So I think that also adds into it. So that's why I'm going to go with Texas Tech minus 5.5.
I'm with you on that one. I like Texas Tech minus 5.5. Whenever we bet Texas Tech, they win us money.
Except for Saturday.
Except for one time. That was the only time.
No. They did get us money on Saturday. It was Texas that I was thinking of. Sorry.
Even better.
Even better.
Even more reason to go with them.
Even more reason.
Yeah, no reason for me to even talk about that one. I'm riding on your pick.
Yeah, I love that pick. That's another one that's going to be one of my favorites. I don't know if you've seen all the videos yet, but they are really going crazy in Lubbock right now with
I'm gonna have to look for those.
What is it?
Okay, I'm gonna have to look for those.
Yeah, they have been giving the Texas team bus a bunch of trouble since they've arrived in Lubbock tonight.
You love to see it. Poor Devin. Poor Devin Askew.
Or Devin Askew. I feel terrible for him. Moving on to the next one, St. John's and Providence. This one's one I haven't really watched either of these teams a whole lot. I might have seen a game or two of both of them, just bits and pieces of each game. What I've seen, I think Providence is the better team. On top of that, looking through it, I don't see a lot of home court advantage for St. John's. They sort of play about the same as they normally do on the road. So I'm going to go with Providence money line here.
We're actually a little flip-flopped on this one. I like the St. John's money line here. I think you are right. I think Providence actually has them beat on just about any like statistical edge. Their starting shooting guard is out for this game. Nothing crazy. Al Durham is their like number one player, their go-to. But I think the shooting guard's name is Austin Reeves. Not the Lakers. I think there is a separate Austin Reeves that plays for Providence. 10-point per game guy. Not bad. I just think this St. John's team is a pesky team who is just really desperate for a win. I've been keeping up with them a good bit. I bet on them a good bit. And they're just always fighting, no matter how much they're down by. And I just really think it's going to come down to Champagny. That's an NBA guy for St. John's. And another little quirky little stat, Providence, according to KenPom, is the luckiest team, the number one luckiest team in college basketball. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going with the St. John's money line.
I will say, whenever I've listened to any podcasts, any shows, anything like that, and they bring up that luck stat, the lucky teams continue to be lucky for some reason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They do continue to be lucky. It's not like it stops. It just continues to happen. Moving on to our next one, and we got the rematch. I think this one's going to be another hectic environment. Auburn and Bama. This one's a tough one because Bama plays up to their competition. But I think they did in the first time, and that's why it was such a close game. And Auburn still pulled it out on the road. Auburn's 11-1 against the spread at home this season. Bama's 1-3 on the road in SEC play, 0-4 against the spread. Like I said, it does scare me that Bama could play up to their competition, but that's sort of like a what if. We know that Auburn plays really well at home. They play well in general, but at home they are 11-1 against the spread, like I said. It's hard to bet against that. I'm going to go Auburn minus 7.5 here.
I'm rolling with that pick as well. I was tempted to go Alabama just because it is a really big spread against a team that just upset Baylor. But it's like you said, that was their game. Like, they've got a couple of these games that are really good wins, but I just don't see them doing it against Auburn in that environment. This crowd's going to be loud. Dare I say, best home court advantage in college basketball.
I know. Look, I'm sorry to cut you off, but let me just say
this. Okay.
There was a lot of people in Saturday night's game saying Kansas had the best home court advantage in college basketball.
I think we can all agree.
I think we can all agree that is not the case. Or if they do, there's a little team in Lexington that canceled all that out. Every time they tried to get loud, Oscar Tshiebwe, Kellen Grady, Keon Brooks had something to say about it. That's all I'm gonna add.
Thank you for adding that. I remember Kansas playing in this game. Oh, wait, that's Alabama. Never mind.
Oh, sorry.
I would also like to add that under Bruce Pearl, Auburn is like 5-2 at home, straight up. Who's guarding Jabari? Who guarded him last time when he put up 25 on him?
I don't know.
I just want to know. I don't know who they're going to drag out there to guard him, but if Keon Ellis is out there,
Yeah.
put your phone down. Don't even keep up with the score. Just watch your bank account.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this also caused a lot of matchup problems for Alabama on top of everything already going into this. They have the guard play to hang with just about anybody, but Auburn's front court has been amazing this year, so that really causes problems. I think Gurley's a solid player. He's not going to do enough to stop Kessler and Jabari Smith.
Yeah, and that's a big thing as well, I will add, is that Walker Kessler, I don't even think he got to 10 minutes last time because at Alabama, they were calling foul after foul on him. I won't say whether they were bad or good, but ever since then, he's kind of cleaned up. He is consistently playing over 30 minutes a game. So I think that'll be the big X factor in this game.
Okay. So I think we both love Auburn minus 7.5 in that one. Moving on to our unranked picks, I'll start out Toledo at Eastern Michigan. I like this Toledo team.
You do?
They had a pretty small spread against an Ohio team that we already liked, and then I sort of picked up on Toledo and noticed how well they were doing, and they absolutely demolished Ohio. So I looked more into it. Toledo's 15-5 against the spread on the season, so they're another one of the teams that are top in the country against the spread. On top of that, they have Ryan Rollins, who I think is one of the best mid-major players in the country. 20 points per game scorer. He can dish it. He can rebound it really well for a guard as well. On top of that, it's not like they have any problems on the road. They're 7-1 against the spread on the road since the start of December. And I don't know. I really like this team. I'll take Toledo minus 10.5. I think this is a team sort of like the Ohio team with Jason Preston last year. They can get into March and maybe move on to the second round, second weekend, maybe get to the 16. I think I like this team, the makeup they have.
I looked into that game as well. They're playing Eastern Michigan, right?
Yeah.
It scared me a little bit because Eastern Michigan was, I think, like 4. Isn't it at Eastern Michigan?
Yeah.
I think they're like 4-0 at home or something against the spread, but someone's got to break that. And if anyone was going to break it, I think it'd be Toledo. And I also didn't see who they had played in those games, and I imagine it wasn't stiff competition.
I think the top opponent was maybe Miami of Ohio, who's 8-9.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm with you on that pick. I almost went with them. I had 2 unranked matchups, and both of them are going to be totals. One of the teams I followed a lot, I know you just talked about them, is the Ohio team. They're going to be playing against Ball State. And that total is going to be 145.5. I have that going over. The Ohio over is 7-2 at home. And Ball State over the last 3 games has averaged 79.3 points per game. So I like that one.
Real quick with your Ohio one, since this is our second or third time going over them. I know we struggled with the last names on their team. They have Spears. I think we've had that one nailed down. The big man that does all their scoring is Vanderplas. I think I said it right.
Vanderplas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spears is better.
Yeah, Spears is the better player, but Vanderplas is definitely a nice second piece to this team. I think last time he was referred to as Vander Blockensmachen. So
I think that name kind of, I don't know, I think it treads better.
Okay. Can't disagree.
It sure gave me some luck on that over. But as I digress, second matchup I had was Central Michigan against Bowling Green State. This total is 158.5. I have the under for this one. Not because of Bowling Green State. I think they could definitely hold up their end of the bargain. The problem I have with this one is Central Michigan, where they actually struggle a lot at home. And I just think the total is really high for a team that doesn't shoot the ball well at home.
Now, I must ask, do you know who Central Michigan is coached by?
I imagine former Kentucky player, if I had to guess.
He is a former Kentucky assistant, but that's not what I was hinting at.
Okay.
He's the former head coach of the Auburn Tigers, Tony Barbie.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I did know that. Is what I'll go with.
He, honestly, they did play Kentucky this year. I think that is probably our first or second worst opponent we've played all season. So I do like this pick as well.
Tony Barbie. What a name.
That was the golden days of Auburn.
Yeah.
You got any more unranked matchups for us?
And that's my last one.
Okay. So I think let's dive right into our favorites. So starting out, I've got Michigan State, Maryland under 138.5. Then I'm going to take Texas Tech minus 5.5. And lastly, I have Auburn minus 7.5. The one I really like out of these three, though, if you've only got enough money for one bet, defense travels under 138.5, Michigan State and Maryland. Dallas, who do you have?
Oh, you son of a gun. My number one favorite play of the slate, Iowa State plus 3.5. My second favorite one is that Michigan State minus 5. Last but not least, I like the Ohio over 145.5.
Okay, there you go. There's our favorites. We got 6 total. I'm just going to say it again. Dallas went 3-0 in these last week. I think I went 3-0 the week before. So we're trending in the right direction.
You know what happens after the podcast.
Yeah.
We might just have to do one every day.
Yeah, might just have to do a podcast every day. I think we get all of our information gathered for these shows, and that's whenever we get our best picks. So
yeah, absolutely.
There's our picks for Super Tuesday with a sneaky good college basketball slate. I think there's a couple under the radar games, especially in the Big 12, that are going to be awesome matchups. That's going to wrap it up for the video for episode 5 of Two Broke Betters. Remember, gamble responsibly. Follow us on social media. Me and Dallas, we're ready. We have to do the gritty because Jamar Chase finally scored. So remember.
Oh my goodness.
Remember to follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
You got it up.
You will see the gritty. You will see it.